Do you ever get hit by a sudden wave of anxiety or anger and you have no idea why? One minute you're fine, the next it's impossible to focus. It's like a storm cloud just formed in your mind, blocking out the sun and leaving you completely stuck. Well, what if you could learn to read those signals? In this video, I'm going to share a simple but really powerful framework that will help you not just understand your emotions, but use them to become a more resilient and powerful version of yourself. So stick around.
Chapter 1. The Problem. The Mind's Mysterious Alarms.
Let's be real. For a lot of us, our emotional world feels chaotic and unpredictable. One moment you're on fire, totally productive and focused. The next, you're completely hijacked by a feeling you just can't pin down. Maybe it's that knot of anxiety that tightens in your stomach right before a big meeting, or that flash of anger when you're stuck in traffic, or just the wave of sadness that comes out of nowhere. When that happens, it's like an alarm system is blaring inside your head, but the control panel is in a language you don't understand. You know something's off, but you don't know what it is or how to fix it. So, what do we usually do? We try to ignore it, push it down, numb it out, or we just react, letting that feeling drive our actions. That leads to procrastinating on our biggest goals, saying things we regret to people we love, and just feeling like we're not in the driver's seat of our own lives. The problem is, many of us were taught to see our emotions as the enemy, as if they're irrational, inconvenient things we need to conquer. But what if that's completely backward? What if these emotional alarms aren't glitches at all? What if they're actually sophisticated data points, messages from the deepest part of you, trying to tell you something you really need to hear? The key isn't to silence the alarm, it's to learn its language.
Chapter 2. The Why. Your emotions are data.
Mastering your mind starts with one huge shift in perspective. Your emotions are not random. They are logical reactions to what you're thinking and how you're seeing the world. This is the foundation of emotional intelligence, a skill that research shows can be an even better predictor of success than IQ. And the best part? It's not something you're born with. It's a skill you can build. Think of it like this. Neuroscientists like Dr. Dan Siegel talk about having a downstairs brain and an upstairs brain. Your downstairs brain, especially a little almond-shaped part called the amygdala, is your emotional first responder. It's ancient, it's powerful, and it's built for survival. When it senses a threat, whether it's real or just imagined, it triggers an instant emotional and physical reaction. It's fast, and it doesn't stop to think. Your upstairs brain, the prefrontal cortex, is your center for logic, reason, and planning. This is the part of you that can analyze a situation and think about long-term consequences. The only problem is that the downstairs brain is way faster. It can hijack your entire system before your logical upstairs brain even has a chance to power on. So mastering your mind isn't about getting rid of the downstairs brain. You need it. It's about building a staircase between the two so they can talk to each other. When you feel a powerful emotion, your job is to slow down just enough to let your upstairs brain come online, look at the data the downstairs brain is sending, and decide what to do with it. Your emotions are data. Anger, fear, sadness, they are all feedback. By learning to interpret this data, you go from being a passenger on an emotional roller coaster to being the skilled operator of your own mind.
Chapter 3. The How. 5 steps to master your mind. So how do we actually build that staircase? How do we learn to decode these signals? It comes down to a 5-step framework. Practicing this will literally build new pathways in your brain, making this whole process feel less like a struggle and more like second nature. Step 1. Notice and name the emotion. First, and maybe the most important step, is to just notice what you're feeling and give it a name. There's a powerful concept in neuroscience called name it to tame it. When you can accurately label an emotion, you actually activate your prefrontal cortex, your upstairs brain, which immediately starts to calm the alarm bells of your downstairs brain. Most of us have a pretty small emotional vocabulary. We feel good, bad, or stressed. But the more specific you get, the more power you have. Are you just angry? Or are you feeling betrayed, resentful, or maybe ignored? Are you just anxious? Or are you feeling vulnerable, overwhelmed, or unprepared? This is the practice of self-awareness. It just requires you to pause, look inward, and ask, what exactly am I feeling right now? Don't judge it. Don't try to get rid of it. Just observe it and label it. That one act creates a tiny bit of space between you and the emotion. And in that space, you find the freedom to choose how to respond. Step 2. Understand the message. Once you've named the emotion, get curious. Every emotion is a messenger. Your job is to be a detective and figure out what it's trying to tell you. Ask yourself, why is this feeling here? What's the message? Anxiety, for example, is often a message about the future. It might be saying, hey, you're not prepared for this, or there's a potential threat you should probably look at. Anger is often a messenger from the past or present, signaling that a boundary was crossed or one of your core values was violated. Sadness is a messenger of loss, telling you that you've lost something you care about. A great tool here is journaling. When you feel a strong emotion, just take 2 minutes and write it all out. What triggered it? What thoughts are spinning around it? Over time, you'll start seeing patterns. You'll uncover the specific triggers and beliefs that create your emotional responses. This isn't about blame. It's about gathering intelligence so you can make better choices.
Step 3. Reframe your thoughts. This is where you start to actively change your emotional state. Since our thoughts generate our emotions, if you can challenge the thought, you can change the emotion. It's a technique called cognitive reframing, and it's one of the most effective strategies for emotional regulation. Now, reframing is not about lying to yourself or pretending everything is fine. It's not about saying, I'm not angry, when you clearly are. It's about questioning your first interpretation and looking for other, more empowering ways to see the situation. For example, you make a mistake at work, and your first thought is, I'm such a failure. That thought is going to produce feelings of shame and anxiety. A reframe might sound like, okay, that was a mistake and I'm disappointed, but it's also an opportunity to learn exactly what not to do next time. This is making me better at my job. The situation is the same, but your interpretation changes, and your emotional response shifts from crippling shame to productive motivation. Always ask yourself, is this thought 100% true? Is it helpful? What's a more empowering way to look at this? Step 4. Choose a conscious response. After you've named the feeling, understood its message, and reframed your thought, you get to a choice point. Before, you might have just reacted, yelling when you're angry, shutting down when you're anxious. Now, you have the power to choose a conscious response. This is where you use practical tools to give your upstairs brain even more time to take the lead. It can be as simple as taking 3 deep, slow breaths before you say a word. Deep breathing sends a direct signal to your nervous system that you're safe, calming that fight or flight response. Other conscious responses could be taking a 5-minute walk, putting on a song that calms you down, or doing a simple mindfulness exercise to get grounded in the present. When you have a go-to menu of healthy coping strategies, you build the resilience to handle life's challenges without getting totally derailed. The more you practice pausing and choosing, the bigger that space between stimulus and response gets, and the more in control of your life you become. Step 5. Learn and grow from the experience. The final step is to treat every single emotional experience as a lesson. True emotional mastery is a lifelong process of getting better. After the emotional storm has passed, take a second to reflect. Ask yourself, what did I learn from that? What did I learn about my triggers or my values? How did my response work out? What could I do differently next time? This step turns you from a victim of your emotions into a student of them. It builds a bank of wisdom you can draw from in the future. Sometimes this even means asking a trusted friend or mentor for their perspective to see your patterns more clearly. By consistently applying this final step, you make sure that even the tough emotional moments help you grow. You start to build real confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Not because you can stop feelings from showing up, but because you know how to work with them, learn from them, and use them to become stronger and wiser.
Mastering your mind isn't about reaching some perfect state of Zen where nothing ever bothers you. It's about building a better relationship with yourself, one that's based on curiosity, compassion, and courage. It's about finally understanding that your emotions aren't your enemies, they're your allies, your internal GPS. By using this 5 step framework, notice and name, understand the message, reframe the thought, choose a conscious response, and learn and grow, you build that staircase between your emotional downstairs brain and your logical upstairs brain. You shift from being reactive to being responsive. This is the heart of emotional intelligence, a skill that will boost your confidence, improve your decisions, and deepen your relationships. You have everything you need to decode these signals and become the master of your own mind. What was your biggest takeaway from this? Which of these 5 steps hit home for you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I genuinely love to read them and learn from your experience. And if this was helpful, please subscribe for more content on mastering your mind and living a more intentional life.